What's up, everybody? Welcome back in to SSPN. We got our shooting guard breakdown, Ethan. But before we get into any of that, how you doing, my guy?
I'm good, dude, but I keep getting cursed. This podcast, for the people that have been here for like longer than 4 or 5 months, my
Yeah.
lights keep going out. My light literally just went out, so that's why I'm in the darkness here again.
San Marcos, Dallas, doesn't matter. They're going out for you, bro.
They're going out for me. Who knows? Hopefully, I can get this one fixed sooner than the last one. The last one I was out of light for like 5 podcasts in a row. I was just darkness.
Oh my gosh. I'm forgetting about that now.
Just
But you're
complete
reminding
darkness.
me. That's right. Oh my gosh. What a stretch. What a
Yeah.
stretch. I don't even know how to describe it. Dude, I'm still messed up from last night watching that LSU game. I got to just be completely honest. I know that this is a Spurs show, but that was just wild. So I'm still kind of recovering from that. But anyways, that's nuts. That was definitely that is an arc in SSPN history. That's the word I was looking for. That will be forever remembered. But I guess it's technically made a return.
Technically, hopefully a brief return, a cameo. But aside from that, weekend's been good. How about you?
Pretty good, there was the game last night, but I love college football so much, and it was a crazy game. So
Yeah.
you just gotta take the W's where you can. But anyways, man, let's get into these Spurs, because last time, before we even get into the shooting guards, let's just talk about the roster again, because one, we've had people sign since then, and we forgot like a couple people last time because they aren't listed like technically on the website when I was going there. There are some people that are listed, but not all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to Noah Magaro George's Twitter, because he tweeted out the actual like full roster. So I'm pulling that up right now, but we have like plus of 20 guys, like more than we even thought before. And I just kind of want to go through it completely before we start today, because it's just nuts. Yeah. So the Portland Trailblazers 6 hours ago just signed K-Hawk. So K-Hawk will not be on the roster, which we felt like after seeing him on the website last night, last stream. And I'm trying to find this still, but like that was not, completely accurate. Of course, I have to log in right now. Come on, man.
The K-Cock Eubanks combo in the front court is going to be deadly.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Well, the thing is that K-Cock's getting an Exhibit 10, so that means he's probably going to be a part of their G League team. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, well, now I'm having to go to Safari to pull this up because I'm not logged in on Google Chrome. But K-Cock, we need the K-Cock Eubanks combo in Portland at some point this year. Did we ever get that last year?
I don't think so. I don't think they ever played together.
No, we did get Yock and or not Yock. We got Jock and Eubanks a little bit, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And Zach Collins and Jock, I think.
Yeah.
So we did get some funny stuff. It didn't work out, but okay, here we go. Finally found the tweet, and I think I can actually screen share. That's right. I figured out how to do that last time. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. I need a window. There we go. Let's go ahead and share that. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Oh, that's because I haven't turned it on.
There
it is. What a concept. What a concept. All right, we'll just keep this. Wait. Can we do this? Yes, we can. Let's roll with that. Okay. So, actually, I don't even need to be on this tab. Okay, so we got Dom Barlow on the two-way and Jordan Hall on the two-way. And then this is the rest of the roster. Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, Josh Primo, Devin Vassell, Trey Jones, non-guaranteed. Romeo Langford, Keldon Johnson, Joe Wieskamp. I don't know who the Attaway guy is. I've never heard of him, but we signed him to an Exhibit 10. This is why we're doing this. Isaiah Roby, Tommy Coos, did remember him. Not last episode, but actually remember hearing that. Zach Collins, Alige Johnson, Keita Bates-Diop, Jakob Pertl, Gorgie Jang, Doug McDermott, Jay Rich. So all those Exhibit 10 guys are probably going to go to Austin, because that's basically what I looked into it. There's more to an Exhibit 10 contract. I don't know all the details, but basically it means like you can be on the training camp roster and then still be able to go to the G League. Like you have that opportunity. You also have an opportunity to make the team, but I don't really think any of those. Like honestly, I think like Keita Bates would beat out Alige Johnson for the 4 spot, because Alige Johnson can't shoot at all. So, and he's 6'8". So those guys will probably be in Austin. And then that would leave, let's see, we got Sohan, Branham. I got to count here. You got to count for me, Ethan, because I'm bad at math. Sohan, Branham, Wesley, Primo, Devin Vassell, Langford, Keldon Johnson, Joe Wieskamp, Isaiah Roby, Zach Collins, Jakob Pertl, Jay Rich, Doug McDermott, Gorky. So that means 14. we'd have one more spot left, which I would say is probably going to be Trey Jones. But I think also there's a chance that maybe, I don't know, maybe Keita Bates beats out like Romeo Langford or something. That's probably the battle. Remember, we didn't think Keita Bates was going to do it last year. And what did he do? He kicked the first-round pick, Lucas Samanich, off the team.
That's true. I don't know,
man. If Langford can't shoot, I mean, we already have so many guards. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm so excited about this preseason, because we're really going to see like a legitimate, like, this preseason matters. Like, usually we like run through the motions and we don't really care. But like you're saying, this is going to be Romeo Langford versus Keita Bates-Diop, Trey Jones versus whoever. I think Trey Jones is pretty much guaranteed.
I think so too. I know he's non-guaranteed because of his contract, but I feel like he's more safe than honestly Wieskamp and Langford.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, Weezy's safe.
I think Weezy's safe too, but like, if you know what I'm saying, like if it came down to having to cut somebody, because that's the other thing. Look at the reply that Noah put on there too, and that's NBA teams can carry 20 players during the offseason, so San Antonio must waive someone before the Jalen Attaway signing becomes official. They will have to cut the roster down to 15 standard contracts and a pair of 2 contracts by the start of the 2022-23 season. When I hear that, I'm like, once again, maybe Jay Rich gets moved. I mean, I don't even know, dude. It's so weird. It's so interesting, but it seems like there will be like one other move that we'll have to make before the start of the season in order to just be like feasibly get down numbers wise, unless we're just going to cut people, which we could do. That's what we did last year. But I feel like this year we have people we can like there's a difference between cutting Jay Rich and Al-Farouq Aminu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think we'd cut Jay Rich.
We'd trade him. Yeah.
It's weird though, because like Keita Bates we like, and the coaches like, and the teammates like him. And as far as I know, he likes being in San Antonio. And it's not like he's been a
minimum contract that we can take.
Yeah. And he's been helpful. Like, he hasn't just like sat on the bench the entire time.
He gave Braun 30.
He gave Braun 30. He's played meaningful minutes, and he's playing a position that especially if we're not going to give Sohan an opportunity right off the bat, he's playing a position that we need help at.
Experience.
So, yeah, all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm surprised
we do have Isaiah Roby though.
Yeah, that's true. We do have Isaiah Roby.
But what you just said is another good point, because it's like maybe you'd rather have Gorgui Dieng, or you'd rather have Keita Bates than Gorgui Dieng.
Yeah, but then why would we have signed Gorgui Dieng anyway? Like, at all?
Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna keep Gorgui Dieng because we signed him, and that's kind of the same thing with Wieskamp too. Like, I don't know. There's some people you can read into, and there's some. I mean, I don't know. We claimed Isaiah Roby off waivers. I mean, I still think he's a better forward than some other pieces on the roster, but maybe Keita Bates beats him out. Like, who knows?
Maybe he does. I would rather a trade go down, but I don't think we're going to see a trade before the season starts. I think it's just too early. I don't see that.
Which means we'll probably have the same thing as last year, where people get cut.
Yeah, or one guy gets cut.
Yeah, which. Okay, so we signed Weezy. But the weird thing is wasn't Romeo just in the TikTok?
Yeah, they were almost all of them were. They were all like being promoted on the Spurs TikTok page, and they were all actively participating in a community charity event for the Spurs. So it's like there's none of that read between the lines kind of stuff that we were trying to do last year, where we were like, he's not in the post, that means he's gone. Like, there's none of that. They were all helping. Even Elise Johnson was helping. Like, it's y'all adults, it makes me odd hours. LOL.
That's a great point. Eric's always been in here, and OG on SSPN.
Shout out, Eric.
We appreciate you, my guy. For those that are listening on podcast, Eric said, y'all's adulting hour, or y'all adulting makes for odd hours, LOL, which is very true.
Tavarius, thanks for being in here too.
Yes, we appreciate you. we know you're asking about the starting PG. We said that last episode it'll probably be Trey Jones or Josh Primo. You can go check that one out where we kind of do the full breakdown on that. And in that, we also kind of go over the roster. But as you'll see if you watch that episode, we missed some things a little bit. So we just went off the Spurs website and they still had K-Cock listed. But it was weird because they had some other people listed too. So
yeah.
Anyways, Tommy Kuhs and Jalen Adaway starting this year or what?
I don't know about starting, but meaningful minutes. Meaningful role player minutes.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
We'll have to see. In Austin.
Yes, in Austin. Yes.
Any kind of final thoughts on this roster, man? Like, I would say probably, it feels like, okay, this is kind of the point. Somebody's going to get cut, and it's probably going to be one person. I would say, honestly, it's probably between Langford and Isaiah Roby.
Really? I think it's Keita. I unfortunately think it's Keita.
That's a good point.
Like, it's one of those situations.
Okay, no, it's definitely him. Yeah, because Roby's probably better than him.
Roby's younger.
Definitely better.
Plays similar role. And then
bigger.
Langford still, despite kind of not having any improvement, still has more upside and is on a nice deal and has more trade value.
And so maybe in Chip's his final hour, he gave Romeo Langford a jump shot.
And I think it could be a situation too where at the deadline we make some moves and then we just go kind of pick him back up again. like we trade some guys for picks and we're like, we need some depth.
Sign Keita Bates.
Yeah, get Keita Bates back and then we're set. Like, because moves are coming, but
yeah,
not yet.
What's up, RR210 Texas? We appreciate you being in here. Another SSPN OG. But let's go ahead and get into these. Whoa, let me turn that off.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the shooting guard breakdown, Ethan.
Yeah.
Obviously the roster's weird, but and on top of the roster being weird, that kind of falls into us having to kind of pick these positions, which we really don't know where they're going to play them because it feels like with all the switchability, who knows what the lineups are going to look like. But for today's episode, we went with Devin Vassell, Josh Richardson, and Malachi Branham. So let's talk about Devin. I think I mentioned in the other episode that he's kind of who I'm looking out for whenever it comes to having that kind of breakout year that Keldon had last year. What are just kind of your thoughts on Devin going into the year?
I'm excited for Devin. We've all seen him on social media. He's been in the lab. He's getting stronger. He looks like he has a man body now, but he still has that length and athleticism that we all love.
We forgot to talk about Primo. We got to talk about that.
Oh, we talked about it last episode.
No. How yoked he is.
I thought we talked about that already. Did we not?
No, that happened after.
Oh, okay. He also
that happened like this week. Like that was crazy with his girlfriend. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, Devin looking stronger. So I expect a big boost offensively from Devin because we're going to be depending on him and Keldon probably for the majority of our scoring. I predicted DeJounte Murray's and Keldon Johnson's stat line last year. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try to go 3 for 3. I think he's going to average 17 or 18 points a game, probably 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal.
I think that's pretty solid, honestly.
I think so too. I think he will kind of take over for what we had in DeJounte last year when our half-court offense wasn't working. It's kind of give him the ball, clear out, and let him kind of go to work, pull up mid-range jumpers. That's like where his bread and butter is. He likes that kind of old-school shooting guard post-up game. We've talked about it kind of like...
Being 6'7" helps.
He's got that long wingspan. He can shoot over the top of anybody. So that's what I would see from him. And then, of course, his defense just continuing to improve and being that like all defensive type player that we all think he can be. Yeah, definitely gonna hoop. It's gonna go crazy.
Yes, I think he's gonna have, like I said, kind of like that same Keldon year where they just break out. There's really not too much to say other than what you just said. Obviously, he's a reliable shooter from the mid-range or the outside. I guess if we can talk about one thing that maybe like he could improve on is just his inside scoring, like driving to the basket a little bit more. Obviously, putting on some muscle is going to help a lot with that because before, he was much more slender. So going inside, to stay on the court for a whole season, that's not necessarily, the best idea for somebody with his frame last season. But now that how old is what? He's got to be 21, 22 now. So growing into that man's body a little bit more. And definitely the picture we saw earlier in the offseason seemed like a good sign. So I don't even want to say this because it just scares me, but I don't know. If he's really like yoked like that, maybe there's a chance we even see him at the 4 this year. I really doubt it, but I could just see Pop. No, okay, that's crazy.
I mean,
it's probably not going to happen. But like, imagine, dude. Imagine they put him out there because he's 6'7". Oh my god, with Keldon.
Keldon, no. Okay, that wouldn't happen.
Maybe it will. We're trying to lose.
Or Sohan at center.
No, that's okay. That is a little bit outrageous, though. He's gonna play the 2 and the 3 most likely. But the point is, having that added strength is gonna help with developing more of that inside game moving forward. He's the other kind of high draft pick, really before Primo. Like, he's the highest draft pick we've had in recent memory. So just excited to see his jump. I mean, if you think about where he was picked and where Keldon was picked, obviously Keldon was a steal, but like still, who knows how high his ceiling can be? Because no, I'm not going to say that. But there might be. It might be reminiscent of a former player that we've had who played small forward and was really good at defense, and then came into his offensive game and started taking things over. Do you remember that person?
I remember that person, and he was skinny when we drafted him, and now he's probably the most yoked small forward aside from LeBron James.
Yep.
So fingers crossed that that's what happens, but he's actually a better person than that person that
yes. Yes, we will not mention them.
Knock on wood.
Point is, Devin should have a breakout year. I wish I had like more to contribute, but I mean, I think everybody kind of knows after watching these years. I mean, he's got so much defensive potential. He's got so much offensive potential. Now he's going to have the opportunity. Will he capitalize? I think, and that's when, like, why you said 17, 5, and 3. I think that's like, when I said that's solid, it wasn't even like, oh, that's solid for him. Like, I think that's a really solid guess because he'll probably be the number 2 scorer next to Keldon. And I mean, he's going to be what? Well, okay. Not the most experienced guy because there's a lot of the vets, but like of the young guys who are going to be the leaders of the team moving forward, he's kind of going to be the second most experienced behind Keldon. So yeah, it's his opportunity. And I think with his rebounding ability, with his height, I think that 5 rebounds is good. And then of course, he's not really going to be a facilitator, obviously. But with the way the Spurs offense moves, I like the assists. And then of course, with his defensive ability, I think he'll pop a steal in there too, like you said.
Dude, what I'm excited about, this is more of a team thing, but I saw, who was it, RR, he said that he felt like DeJounte held the team back at times. I understand where he's coming from because DJ was kind of a ball stopper. He was a ball stopper out of necessity, though. I feel like not because necessarily he wanted to be a ball stopper, but just because we couldn't get a basket, so he would just take it upon himself to do that.
The team wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Devin, Keldon, Primo, they've kind of come up through the system together. And last year when DJ was hurt, when we had Trey Jones at point, we really kind of flashed back to that old style San Antonio Spurs basketball. Where it was just constant movement, screen and roll, cutting. The ball never, was in one person's hands for longer than like 2 seconds. So I'm hoping we kind of get back to that.
I agree. Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't think about that really, but we should move the ball a lot more this year without DJ.
Yeah, for sure. Because the only person that's like an ISO scorer is Devin.
Yeah.
Like really, everybody else kind of gets their baskets based on running half court sets or in the full court or just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, so our man Emmett Miles, he kind of took away what I was going to say next. It is true that he is in DeJounte was good for us and was a ball stopper. Trey moves the ball much, much better. And that's what I was thinking about. You're going to really have that like true point guard in Trey Jones facilitating everything. So, I mean, if he's out there at that first unit, they're going to be moving the ball a lot more.
And Jakov's an underrated passer too. I feel like we're going to run
well, as a big, he's one of the better. Yeah.
We're going to run a lot of the offense through Jakob, I feel like. But we'll get to that when we do the center breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see specifically, just to add on to that more, I can see a lot of, handoffs at the elbow, or just him at the elbow and us, running around off, off ball screens, whatever it is, to try to get somebody open, because he's definitely one of the better passing big men in the league. I know not on one of the better teams in the league, but if we're going to be objective, that's the truth. So our man Bobby February, got to give a shout out to him. What's good, guys? I'm at work right now painting a fence. It's hot. Stay cool. Always listening. We appreciate you listening, even at work, my guy. Let's see our man King J. So really the only thing that you missed, we were just talking about the roster a little bit and how there's like 34 people going into training camp. not actually, but that like so many people.
Somebody.
We're gonna have to cut somebody. But the thing is, surprisingly, it's actually probably just gonna be one person, and then the rest of the Exhibit 10 guys and two-way guys are just gonna, go to Austin. So we made a lot of signings this year. I think this is the most Austin Spurs signings we've made in an offseason, which, considering the year that we're going into, makes sense.
Smart move, yeah. Try and find a diamond in the rough.
Yep. All right. Our man ML Miles says the funny thing is that DJ was a willing passer most of the time. He just looked for his shot more than most people on the team, which that is true. He was a willing passer. But with also the situation last year, like, and I think he was trying to win as many games as possible. Like, he just kind of had to do that too. So
yeah. And there's a difference between getting assists and making the hockey assist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, DJ had a lot of dump offs and a lot of drawing to and just kind of handing it off to the guy next to him who scored. But anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, and this kind of, just getting back to that, I think ML Miles might have came in after this. So this is the great point. Who do you guys have the options at the two? So many guys that can play multiple positions. And that's why, we talked about Devin just a second ago, and the other two that we're going to roll with are J. Rich and Malachi Branham. So let's talk about J. Rich a little bit. Ooh, what do you got, Ethan?
We forgot about somebody. We can talk about J. Rich, but Weezy.
Yes. The one thing I will say about Weezy, although he will play the two, is I think they're going to play him at the three more.
Okay.
Just because
we can save him.
Literally just because he's 6'6". Like, he's just taller than
Malachi.
than J. Rich and Malachi. Like, that's literally my only reasoning. We'll see him too, but just for the purpose of this breakdown where we pick, 15 players at each position, or 3 players at each position.
I'm fine with that.
What was I going to say? But we will see Wee's camp at the two. Talking about J. Rich, and this is another thing. I mean, maybe J. Rich gets moved, and then, I really doubt we release him, but maybe he gets moved, and then that, opens up Weezy to be the backup too. So we'll have to see. But talking about J. Rich, obviously we mentioned it, if you guys listened last season, we loved what he brought to the table. He came in, shot 40% splits for us in multiple different categories. And just really kind of gave us some juice and some energy that it felt like we really needed. And as much as we dearly love Derek White, he just kind of fit the team better as more of an off-ball 3-and-D spacer.
Yeah, I love J. Rich, dude. I really don't want to move him. Like, I kind of want to just keep him as a depth guy for the rest of his career because he gets along with everybody so well.
And he can fit in on any team.
Any team. He's a defensive-minded three-point sniper with underrated playmaking ability. He doesn't need the ball, but if you need a basket, he can also kind of do that for you because remember him in Miami, he was like an 18, 19 points a game guy. Like, he was borderline all-star in Miami, and he just had a couple of years where it was a struggle, and now he's in San Antonio. It feels like he found a home, gets along with Pop. I want to keep him, but it's one of those things like, do you keep him and let him take a spot away from a Malachi or I'm blanking on his name. Blake Wesley. Like, do you let him do that?
Because he's 6'4", he can play the combo guard too, right?
Exactly. And yeah, how much could you get from him? Could you get 2 first? I don't know if you could get 2 first. Maybe 1, maybe. But yeah, it's just one of those things.
It's going to be some picks package. I think we could get like a 2028 lottery protected first for him. Maybe somebody out there is willing to give us, a first round pick down the line, like the Lakers or something. Also, they just traded for Mike Conley.
Did they?
Yes. Yeah, like I saw that, and unless it was a meme post, I'm pretty sure that that's true.
I didn't get a notification. Let me see.
Yeah.
So keep talking. I'll look this up.
No, yeah, because I'm very curious about that too. But yeah, if we could get that, Miles, that we would definitely have to pack his bags, and that's kind of the point here. There's a couple guys on the team that we've talked about. Okay, it was a meme. It was a meme.
Nothing from Shams.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. It was a meme. It's okay. I've been got by the memes multiple times today. There's all the LSU Keyshawn Butte stuff. I don't even want to get into it, but the point is he deleted all of his stuff, right? And then I saw like something this morning from another meme account, but it was like disguised as a real one, and I believed it for like a good like minute. So, anyways,
sorry, we've all been gotten like that.
Did the Lakers make a trade recently? No. I'm thinking of Donovan Mitchell going to the Cavs. That's what's happened since we
and
left.
Pat Bev going to the Lakers for.
That's right. THT.
Taylor Horton Tucker and somebody else. I think.
Yo, I can't wait to see Pat Bev and Braun on the same team.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be a show.
Oh my gosh! All right, Miles has got a question for us. He says, "How committed do you think we are to being bad, really bad this year?"
Well, I don't think Pop or the players want to be bad at all. I think we're just in this unfortunate situation where our roster is not up to snuff. We're all a very young team. We don't have an all-star. It's just a fact. Like we want to win a championship. I think even the front office would like us to be competitive, but we're not going to be. I don't think it's a tank. I think it's just we are now in that spot, and we might as well embrace it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they're necessarily committed to being bad. I just think we're gonna be bad.
Yeah, is what it is.
Ayala Isabel, we appreciate you being in here. Thank you for the shout out. We'll be out here making Spurs content over the next couple weeks, doing some position breakdowns. But yeah, going back to Jay Rich, any kind of final thoughts on just his strengths and things that he brings to the team? I know we kind of pretty much covered all of it, but any other thoughts on him under the circumstances that he stays? Do we think he's mainly going to be the backup too?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, and this is kind of the switchability thing too, where like him and Wieskamp are so similar. It's like they can literally just switch back and forth between 2 and 3 on defensive rotations or even on offense because they're just, I mean, they're the same. They're not the same player, but they're very similar in the way that they're going to be shooters for us off ball in that 2 to 3 position.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and I agree though, Ayala. I think that Jay Rich is a big help. I hope we keep him too. Like Ethan said, we it'd be nice to kind of keep him for the rest of his career during this time because he can just kind of fit in on any team. So really like what Jay Rich brings to the table, but we will have to see with how many guards we just drafted. So
yeah, I think he'd be fine with being a third stringer too. Maybe that's me just looking too much into it, but I think he really does like San Antonio.
Yes. I don't know if he'd be fine with being a third stringer, but I definitely do think that he does like San Antonio. I think he kind of likes, I think he likes playing for Pop. Like there was the tweet, we've talked about this before, but I'll go back to it. As soon as he got traded to the Spurs, he went back to a tweet he made watching the 2013-14 finals and was like, I want to play for Greg Popovich someday. And then he was, it's just like the prayer hands emoji or something, I may have butchered that a little bit, but the point is he was like, I'm glad that it happened eventually. So it's something he's had admiration for Pop for a while. There's not a lot of role players like him that are like, I want to go play in San Antonio. So you kind of want to value that when you have it because there's a lot of dudes who don't want to play in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay, so our man Aaron L says, what kind of contract would Trey Jones have if we keep him? So this year, we would literally just be accepting his like 1.7 million option. So basically a minimum. And moving forward, I would say like 8 million if he has a solid year this year. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We can talk about our man Malachi Branham now. He will probably be in Austin, but I think we'll still see some minutes from him in San Antonio at some point this year for sure. So, we watched him in Summer League. Didn't have who am I thinking? Primo had a bad Summer League.
He had
Malachi.
a up and down one. It was kind of rough.
Talking about Malachi?
Yeah, it was inconsistent.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm kind of having to re-jog my memory here. So, yeah. But he had like one game where he kind of finally caught fire at the end. But it was also weird for him because, and this is something that we kind of talked about in the last episode and when he got drafted, where he can kind of play 1 through 3, but still at Ohio State, he was kind of playing that 1-2 role. Like he was taking the ball up the floor at the end and facilitating a little bit more, at least getting screens, and was the main part of the offense, which contributed to him in his last 10 games for them, averaging 20 points, playing well in March Madness, etc. But then when he got on the team this year, you have Primo and Blake Wesley in the backcourt. So they were mainly playing Malachi as kind of a 3 off-ball shooter. And I think that kind of, he just didn't really have the opportunities to shoot as much in that situation. Because if you've seen Blake Wesley tape, he's very aggressive, likes to have the ball in his hands, and likes to go to the rack. And then, of course, Primo, coming into this year, was supposed to be the star of the Summer League team. So it was like, obviously, he's going to get those touches. And then it just kind of left Malachi in no man's land, standing on the 3-point line for most of the games.
Yeah. I like Malachi. I think he'll probably play in the second half of the season, probably after the All-Star break, especially if Jay Rich is traded or the team is shaken up somehow. Doug McDermott gets traded. Who knows what happens? But I think that's the case for all of 3 of our rookies, actually. They'll probably play after the deadline. But I like his game. He reminds me a little bit more of Steve Smith the more I look at his game. Steve Smith came in as a point guard, ended up being a shooting guard. He liked to post up. He was very versatile. Later in his career, he became a very good spot-up shooter with the Spurs. But early on, he was a physical guard that could get post up at the high post, make moves from there, and be a 20 points per game scorer on any given night. And I think that's what his ceiling can be at that level. And Steve Smith was an all-star. So, not saying he's just going to be some role player. I think that's a high enough ceiling to give a rookie of his caliber.
Where did we draft him again?
We drafted him at 22? Or 20?
Here,
something like that. Yeah, it was in the 20s though. He fell because I remember the guys on ESPN and everything. They were,
And he was also I remember he was at the top of Jay Bilas's best available for 10 picks or something. I mean, yeah,
he can be a capable playmaker. I think, like you said,
we drafted him at 20.
Ball down the court. 20. He can bring the ball down the court like Steve Smith. He can create his own shot out of the post or off the dribble. I know we said defensively maybe he's not the best at this point, but I think he has the tools to get to a certain level to be competitive on that end of the court. It's just I think it was really just a confidence thing, like you said, in the summer league. I think if he gets a little more
in a brand new role,
there'll be definitely a learning curve. But down the road, long term, I think he has the potential to be what we were hoping Lonnie Walker would be, which is just a scoring machine off the bench at that guard position that can
who's way more controlled and won't turn it over all the time.
Yes, exactly. But he did turn it over a lot in summer league. I don't know if you remember that. He had a hard time catching the ball and holding on to it. So hopefully he's able to fix that. I'm sure it's just
for the record though, Primo had a lot of turnovers in summer league also.
So our summer league was really
Blake Wesley was the guy who kind of played the best. Blake Wesley and Dom Barlow were kind of the best 2 players.
Yeah, but
even
shout out to him.
We kind of knew they won't be.
Yeah. But I still think he has a high upside. I'm not ready to write him off yet. Second half of the season, I expect some meaningful minutes, hopefully.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison, because even though we drafted him at 20, he's somebody who was projected to be a lottery pick. So it's this, if he would have, I don't even know where I'm going with that. But the point is, if you have someone who's considered to be a lottery type player, them playing later in their first year after developing in the G League, I think is a reasonable expectation for him, even though it looks like he was a 20th pick. And that's kind of the same thing with Blake Wesley too. He was somebody else who was it was both of them were kind of at the top of that Bilas big board. And so both were kind of considered steals a little bit. It'll be interesting. That'll be a fun backcourt to watch in Austin, though, just to talk about that. And I think it'll work out better for both of them because, that's how they're going to play when they're in San Antonio. And they won't have, they're going to have Primo when they get to San Antonio, but when they're in Austin, they won't have Primo, in combination with the 2 of them. So they can actually, play their roles together and be the two main, guards on the team.
And get comfortable in the Spurs
system. Yes, and have opportunity to play their game, without having to kind of be a makeshift 6'5" next to Primo.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But like Malachi, I'm with you. I think he definitely has potential to be a solid starting shooting guard one day. I don't know if that's necessarily what his role will end up being on this team with, so many guys like Primo and other people on the roster and Devin. But I think that when it comes to just his career overall outlook, it seemed, I'm very happy with the draft this year. We talked about it before, but that's kind of, when you look at all the downsides of all the trades and everything, who knows? I forget even where a lot of those moves came from. I know the Boston pick was obviously from the Derek White trade. And then the other one was the Toronto pick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks trade.
And that,
or was that the DeMar trade?
See, that's what I'm saying. I think it was the DeMar trade because that was the Bulls.
Who knows?
That's 2025. Anyways, but the point is, but that Thad trade, it comes from the DeMar trade because we got Thaddeus Young, right? Didn't Thaddeus Young come over with DeMar? I don't
with
even
Chicago.
know.
Yeah, he came over.
Okay,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah, so in DeMar we got from the Kawhi trade, right? You see how it all led to getting Blake Wesley. Yeah. So, anyways, it all led. At the end of the day, the Kawhi trade led to Blake Wesley.
Yeah. Jakob and Keldon and Blake Wesley is what we got out of Kawhi.
I forgot about this, and this is a great question, Miles, because he is a 2. And the question for people listening on podcast, he's talking about Romeo Langford as a 2. And so here's the thing, though. If we're going to go through 3s, looking at that for next episode, you've got ideally KJ, which probably won't happen. And then Wieskamp and Romeo, right?
Doug, but he might be playing
Doug,
4.
that's who I forgot. Yeah. But he'll probably play the 4.
Romeo is a weird one because he is technically a 2, but he can't shoot at all. So it's you kind of want your shooting guard to shoot, hence the name. But he's a solid slasher. He's a terrific defender.
Solid, yeah. I was about to say he's really good at defense.
Yeah, I hope he gets some minutes, but I don't know who he take minutes away from. I don't know what position he'll play because I think when he finally did get minutes last year, he was playing the 3.
Yep.
And he was just taking the ball to the hoop, and he played well. I thought he played very well.
No, the only thing that was terrible was
his jump shot.
When he took a jump shot, you were like, "Oh God!" But other than that, he was all right. He really didn't do anything wrong. Other than that, he just played good defense, made some good shots. I don't even think that his shooting numbers were that bad, Miles, because he only took 1 3 for us. But when he took it, it was an air ball, and it was one of the ugliest jumpers I've ever seen.
Yeah, and the Boston fans, that's been their complaint ever since they drafted him, was he just can't shoot.
Everything else he's solid at, but
yeah. One of the best players coming out of high school, one of the best players coming out of college, just never learned how to shoot. So
the one thing I am forgetting though, Ethan, whenever we're talking about KJ playing the 3 or potentially playing the 4, is kind of what our man Aaron L is talking about here. Should Roby be a power forward or a center? And I think he should definitely be a power forward.
Yeah.
So that Keldon can play the 3. And so here's the thing. There are going to be some times when you play Roby at that 4 position where he does get exposed a little bit on the perimeter. But offensively, he can shoot from outside, not a sniper, but he is enough to be a decent stretch 4. And he's still got the post skills. He's still an actual big, which is what you want your 4 or your 5 to be. Yes, in today's modern NBA, you want them to be able to stretch the floor, especially your 4, but you want them to be able to play inside a little bit. And that's the thing that we haven't really had. And it's not that Keldon doesn't have the strength to do it. He just doesn't have the height to. Isaiah Roby, actually, he has the size and he has the strength. So...
And if he took a little bit of that pounding off Keldon's body, who knows how much better Keldon could be offensively.
Yes. Yeah. And with Keldon on the perimeter more with his shooting jump after last season, that's just another reason why he has to play that 3. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Roby's defense, on the perimeter, there's some times where he's going to get beat, but in the post, he's pretty solid. I mean, he's not all NBA. He's not really great at defense, but he's not bad either. He's not abysmal. He's going to be better he's going to have a better shot at contesting some of these fours than Keldon would.
And he's better inside than Doug McDermott.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's the other thing. If we play Doug at the 4, oh my gosh.
And he's probably better inside than Keita.
Yeah,
but Keita's probably slightly better on the perimeter. Slightly.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, he's better. So I know we got to get into that later, but I'm just thinking about that now. Like, who really are going to be the 4s?
Isaiah, I guess if we keep Keita, Jeremy Sohan,
that's who I was forgetting. Yeah.
Or top 10 draft Doug McDermott or Keldon Johnson. Yeah.
We will have to see. Let's see what Basketball Reference has to say about Langford. He said he shot 43% from the floor and 34% for 3 in limited minutes.
It's got to be misleading, dude.
Yeah. You got to go watch. Okay, 43% from the floor, 100% believe it. But go watch Romeo Langford jump shots from last year, and you'll be like, oh, Lord.
I hope he proves us wrong. I hope, like you said, Chip saved him before Chip left, and he comes in and he's just sniping. Like, I would gladly take that. But
and
just
I would be like, screw you, Boston. Look who you gave us.
But based on what we've seen so far, it's not looking like the case. But fingers crossed, knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm with you. Any kind of final thoughts on the shooting guard position overall before we wrap this thing up, Ethan?
I think the shooting guard is probably one of our best positions. We've got solid play from Devin. We've got a vet that can provide depth minutes, and then a young up-and-coming guy who knows what he's going to be, and we can look forward to watching him play in the second half of the season. So as far as strong positions go, this is probably the strongest, in my opinion.
I like that. What was I going to say? So I'm just kind of thinking about this, Ethan. Like, should we watch some Austin Spurs games this year and react?
We probably should.
That's what I'm thinking about, because I'm like, if Sohan, like, if all of our first round picks are playing in Austin, like, I don't know, we're obviously still going to do mainly Spurs coverage, but I think from time to time we should do a game or two where they're all playing and just kind of talk about their performance down there. Granted, that can be misleading, Luka Samanic, but I don't think any of these guys are going to be like him. So
fingers crossed.
Big fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm kind of with you on the shooting guards. I mean, I like it. We kind of have that's a pretty easy set thing. You got your young, hopeful breakout player in Devin, a solid bet as the backup, and then your future rotation player in Austin, who's a first round pick from Ohio State. So feel pretty good.
Maybe a sleeper with my boy Romeo, if he can learn how to shoot.
and Romeo's going to come out averaging 30, 10 threes, so. 10 threes a game.
I hope so. Please.
He's just pulling up from the new Self logo.
Might as well let him shoot. Go ahead, Romeo. Shoot 10
Romeo's going to pull up from the Self Spurs billboards in San Marcos.
Let that thing fly.
And is shooting 100%.
Let it fly.
Oh my gosh.
Let's start that. Hashtag let it fly, Romeo Lane.
Let it fly, Romeo. Free Romeo. Yeah. This is going to be so funny when he gets cut at the end of...
Yeah, when he gets cut.
And Keita Bates beats him out.
Oh, no.
Bates will never leave. Oh, gosh. Man, this is an interesting training camp, and it's September. So training camp's only like a couple weeks away. I think it starts in like 2 weeks because the season starts in October.
Yep. Get underway.
All righty, Ethan. Any final thoughts for SSPN?
Stay with us, fans. I know it's going to be a rough year, but stay with us. We got more content coming.
Yes. And we are in the adult world too, but especially when the season starts, like we'll be doing more game recaps and stuff like that in the Austin Spurs content, like we mentioned. So we appreciate y'all. Floyd Kizzy, we didn't say what's up to you. You said, yo guys, thank you for being in here. All 15 of you in here right now at the end of this live stream. We know others will come in, but if you guys being here right now, We appreciate y'all a lot. If you want to stay updated with us, follow us on Twitter. I know I didn't do it today, but usually we do tweet out a link. And still, even if you miss it, if you follow us on Twitter, you're going to see that there was an episode, so you can go back and watch it. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the channel. We appreciate all of y'all. Y'all are awesome, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.